Hi, I used to smoke, and I used to stop smoking about 20 times a day. Well, that was the easy bit. The not so easy bit was not starting again. I started smoking when I was about 14 or 15. I thought it would give me kudos, I'd be one of the lads, and for a short while it did. At first I didn't smoke much, so I could easily stop. It didn't take too long, however, before I'd lost control. I found that I simply couldn't break free. I was hooked. This was definitely not part of the plan. Whenever I tried to stop, the physical discomfort, the brain fog, and the nagging voice in my head became too much. It was just much easier to take the option of immediate relief and get back to normal by smoking rather than taking the much harder option of days of withdrawal and discomfort. So I kept on starting again, even when I didn't really want to. And here's the problem. I knew and kept telling myself that smoking would cause me a lot of problems in the long term, some of them extremely severe. But part of me knew that starting again would deal with the immediate discomfort and anxiety caused by withdrawal. And so I just dismissed any long-term problems. In other words, although smoking would probably kill me or lead to severe chronic illness, I probably wouldn't die or end up in hospital from the next cigarette. And so the addiction just dragged on like a ball and chain. Eventually, I realized that in order to counteract the urge to start again, I'd have to embed in my mind an aversion to smoking, and that this aversion would have to be as strong as possible, so that it would completely overwhelm any desire to start again. I knew that there were some good therapies or techniques that could help with this, such as hypnotherapy or cognitive behavioral therapy, but I opted for self-administered diversion therapy because I could start immediately. Also, it wouldn't cost me anything. I wouldn't need to see someone else or go somewhere else to implement it, and I could easily and without delay adjust it as I went along. So this is what I did. I came up with a list of all the things about smoking that I really disliked. It included the persistent cough, the growing expense, the looming death threat, the stench on me and my clothes, the antisocial aspect, feeling like a pariah, the inconvenience having to smoke outside, having to ensure I had enough to last me until I could get to a shop again, the stains on my fingers, and so on. I think I came up with about 9 or 10 all told. From this list, I picked my top 3, the ones that gave me the most grief, and then I wrote these down again to reinforce them. I determined from then on, from the very moment that I decided to smoke until I'd finished each cigarette, I would repeat one or more of these reasons to myself. I'd do so over and over, out loud if possible, and as strongly and as passionately as possible. I hate this. It stinks. I'm killing myself. I'm sick of this cough. I did this without fail, every single time, and I knew that this was crucial. Mostly I would use my top 3 reasons, but not always. Often I would have the lists in front of me and use the reason or reasons seemed to be the most appropriate at that time. I figured that this process might take some time, but I also knew that it would definitely work. What I didn't realize was just how effective it would be. After a couple of weeks or so, I noticed that I was smoking much less. I was down from about 20 a day to about 10 a day, and not craving any more than that. So that was really encouraging. I figured it's working, let's keep going. After another couple of weeks, I found that again my consumption had roughly halved. It was now about 5 a day. I had no craving to smoke any more than that. Also, I wasn't forcing myself. This was happening quite naturally. Keep going, it's working. About 2 weeks later, so that's about 5 to 6 weeks after I first begun, I'll never forget. It was a Wednesday. Woke up at about 7 o'clock. Showered, dressed, ate breakfast, potted about the house, got on with my routine. About lunchtime I moved an old newspaper and revealed a packet of cigarettes underneath it. I was surprised because I realized that so far that day I had neither smoked nor wanted to smoke. And in fact I still didn't want to. I'd absolutely no desire whatsoever to do so. It was like a wave had washed the addiction away. I threw the cigarettes away, never looked back. I knew that I'd stopped for good. I felt absolutely relieved and elated. I'd had no withdrawal symptoms at all. I never had any cravings or desire to start again. I was back to normal. So that's how I stopped smoking for good, and with no withdrawal whatsoever. It's been quite a while since that day, a number of years in fact. I know I'll never start again. And I'm no one special. If it worked for me, it can work for anyone. It took me about 5 to 6 weeks. It might take someone else more or less time, depending on their circumstances. With persistence and determination, it will always work. No withdrawal, no relapse, no looking back. Just back to normal. So if you smoke or vape, or perhaps you know someone who does, this technique will definitely work for you or for them. If there are 2 or more of you wanting to stop, then do so at the same time. Help each other with support and encouragement. Tell your friends and family what you're doing so they can help as well. Once it's worked for you or your friend, spread the news. Help someone else to break free. Let me know how you get on. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those. And if you'd like a transcript of this recording, please let me know. Contact details are given at the end of the video. Take care now.